Hey everyone, it's Zach with Z Squared Gaming, and it's a new month, so that means that I have a new pickup video. So I encourage everybody to stick around to the very end of this video. I did pick up quite a few really good games and just a pretty crazy grab. There's actually 3, 4 items that are just amazing that you probably want to stick around for. One very kind of personal item, and then a couple of really good finds out in the wild. So stick around for all of that. I will be going through my games that I picked up for resale first, and if I remember, I will I will mention where they came from, type of thing, and I'll just hop right into it here. As you can see from the thumbnail, I'm going to be going through the games on the right side. I suppose if you're watching this video now, you don't see the thumbnail as much. But I'll just, like I said, jump right into it. So I did pick up a Facebook Marketplace posting that I grabbed, jumped on, and ended up, of course, getting. And I ended up getting not one. This is, of course, Black Model DS Lite. Not two, that's a pink DS Lite, but 3 DS Lites. Now this white one does have some issues on it. It's got a cracked hinge, it's pretty dirty, and I did try to clean up around the edges here. Didn't actually clean up very well. This one also does not turn on. It might be just a bad battery, so I'm going to order a few of those to have on hand and see if I can get this one to work. I actually already do have a white DS, so I may just kind of put them together and make one nice one, and then maybe trade or sell off the second one, as long as it works. So we'll see if it is just a battery that needs to be replaced with this one. So pick those up. I picked up a few games along with those, and you'll kind of see further on why I picked up that posting on Facebook Marketplace. You'll see kind of a couple of the games out of that. Unfortunately, they were loose games, but they were still very worth it to pick up. So I'll go through the games that I already had, so they'll be going for resale. Nothing too crazy here. Girl Time, Carnival Games, Tac Mojo Mistake. As you can see, all these are loose. I got Tony Hawk's Motion on the DS. And then I did have a empty case for Super Mario 64 DS, so I was able to complete that. So that will be nice to be able to recoup some of my money back. I will talk about the other games when I get to them that are going into the collection. So I'll just kind of continue on here, going into the Xbox games that I already have that will be for resale. Like I said, I picked up a Xbox One lot on Facebook Marketplace, and I'll mention that again later on as well, because there was one particular game that I was going for in that particular post, and I'll let you know when I get to that. So picked up some other kind of sports titles with it was a system, and then some games as well. First one was Madden 16. That one was actually loose in in one of the other cases, and I had I was able to complete it with a case and manual that I already had. NHL 17, and then NHL 19. So those were the ones from the Facebook Marketplace grab, along with one other game that I'll get to later on, and I'll let you know about that. So I get out into the clearance from Walmart. I'm still grabbing some of those. I haven't grabbed any for quite a while, but there was still some in March, so that's where these are from. And that's Just Dance 2019. So this is sealed. Sealed game of Evil Dead the Game. Looks like this is pretty damaged there on the front. I didn't actually see that before, so I may just I don't know, open that up or something like that. But also got Call of Duty Vanguard, and Hot Wheels Unleashed. So majority of these were either $5 or $10, so I'm not spending much more than $5-10 unless it's a particular game that I'm really looking for, that I'll spend maybe a little bit more for. So those are all the Xbox games that I already had that were going to be for, like I said, for sale in the future or maybe for trade. Just go into the PlayStation games here, have a few PS3 games and then a couple PS4 games. Just trying to remember where I picked these up. Can't recall, but I got Call of Duty Black Ops, Skate 3, I think that might have been at a thrift store, and then Infamous, and then I thought I needed this for the collection, but apparently not. That's Tales of Zestiria. Sure I butchered that, and you guys can correct me down in the comments if you'd like. This one I did pick up at a Goodwill, which was surprising. And then I also did pick up Far Cry 4 Limited Edition. I thought I needed this one, but I needed just the regular one, not the limited edition. But I think I picked this one up at a Goodwill too, so it was like $3. So that was awesome to grab those for resale in the future. All right, so that's all the games that I have that were I already had in my collection. So I will be, like I said, selling those off or trading them off in the future. I'll get right into the games that are going into the collection, and I'll go over each game as I am kind of coming through it, and hopefully I can remember where I picked them up. So this first one here is actually a Sega Dreamcast game, and that is The House of the Dead 2. Now this is just loose, and I picked this up at a garage sale. And yes, there was already a garage sale in Minnesota in March. It was a really nice day. I can't remember what the temperature got up to. It was like 40 or 50 degrees. And I was just out and about. I was doing some thrifting and saw a garage sale sign, and thought, well, maybe it was new, and I checked it out, and lo and behold, it was a garage sale. They had a bunch of games, which I'll actually go through and kind of talk about the ones that I picked up that were complete. And then this was actually included with a binder full of PC games. And so I was just kind of leafing through them just to see if I could find something that had some worth to it. And lo and behold, this Dreamcast game was in that binder. So I picked up the whole binder. Whole binder was, I think, $10, and should be able to get all of that back plus some in regards to selling off the PC games. A couple of them had some value, a lot of them didn't, but that's just how that was. And let's see, so I'll go into, tell you what, I'm going to go into PlayStation next. So I'm just going to kind of hop around here in the different systems. I did pick up one PlayStation 1 game. This came from a swap, and that is Patriotic Pinball. And let's see, what else did I get here? So I got this one at a swap as well, and that's Disney Classics Treasure Planet. So this particular game has a variant, cover art, and this I think is actually the variant. The other one is actually, it's black. In fact, I may actually have it right here. Yep, let me see here. Treasure Planet. I thought I had it right behind me here. Yep, here we go. Alright, so then there's the regular copy, and then the variant with the white and the Disney Classics. So pretty much everything else is kind of the same. It looks like the backs are pretty much the same, but fun to pick up that. I was pretty sure that I already had this one and I needed this one, so I was happy that I got that right. And let's stick that one back real quick here. And then I also picked up Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves, greatest hits copy, and I think I need to replace the case on this one. It looks like it's got some broken tabs on it, so, but I believe I picked this one up at the swap as well. So those are those. And so that was it for PS1 and PS2. I got some PS3 games here. Majority of these were from GameStop. They were having a sale. I believe it was buy 4 for $20. So each of them are $5. So that was a pretty good deal to me. Not all of them are from GameStop, but I'll try to remember which ones I did pick up. So I got Grid Autosport, and that's the limited black edition. Got the Walking Dead Survival Instinct. And then I also got Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. And those, I believe, were all from GameStop. This next one here was from the swap that I mentioned earlier, Heavy Fire Afghanistan. This one I picked up at a swap. I did kind of a trade and cash. A buddy of mine needed a 360 game, and he had this game, so I did the trade and then gave him, I think, if I remember correctly, it was like 10 or 15 bucks to make up the difference. So that was nice. And then this last one was also from the swap as well, so a lot of them from either the swap or a GameStop. And this one is Tom Clancy's Signature Edition Ghost Recon Future Soldier. It's an earful, mouthful. All right, and going on to the PS4 and then PS5. So this first game on top here was from that same garage sale that I picked up, that Dreamcast game. So like I said, they did have a few games that were complete, so that was nice, but of course they were a little bit more expensive. They did price those up kind of very close to what they were worth, a couple bucks off. But what happened was I brought up a bunch of games, and then we did a kind of a deal. I think it ended up being like $78 worth, and then they went down to like 75 or something like that, so I got a few bucks off. So first one here is Generation Zero. This is actually a pretty decent valued game. Unfortunately, the cover art is water damaged. It's kind of hard to see likely in the video, but that is the case, so I'll be on the lookout for a replacement for that. But it looks a very interesting game, so you have to let me know if you've played it before and if I should check it out. Next one here is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and this is the cross-gen edition. Now this one I believe I picked up at a, I want to say actually at a thrift store, and I don't remember which one it was, but I was kind of surprised to get that. This one I did pick up at a thrift store, The Witcher Wild Hunt 3. Or I'm sorry, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, I think. This one I got at GameStop, Killing Floor 2. Another one I got at GameStop was Guilty Gear X2. XREV2. Looks like an interesting game. Kind of like a RPG. Got this one up at, picked this one up at GameStop, Creedfall. Looks like a pretty fun one as well. Another GameStop, Gus Guzzler's Extreme. Car racing game, of course. And can't recall where I picked this one up, but it's Redout Race Faster Than Ever. I think this might have been a swap pickup as well. Some of these swap games that I got from the swap, a lot of them were in like bins, so that they were like, buy 2 for $5 or something like that, or 4 for $10. So that's where I picked up a lot of those, so I got them for a good deal. And then I did pick up some sealed games. Of course, this is likely going to be mostly from clearance at Walmart. And some of them I think were not, but I'll try to remember which ones here. I believe, honestly, this one was a clearance at Walmart, and that's Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I was very surprised to see that was already on clearance. I got, let's see, Resident Evil Village, and so I think this would be Resident Evil, looks like it's 8. That's, of course, sealed. This one was a Walmart clearance, and that's SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Looks like they redid the Battle for Bikini Bottom, with it being the Rehydrated. Alright, and then I got in a few PS5 games here. Can't recall where I picked this one up, but it's Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. and that's open, so I'll be able to play that one once I get a PS5 to play. And then a buddy of mine mentioned that he wanted this game. I think it was you, James, that wanted this. Not, I apologize, but they also mentioned that it's probably going to be harder to find in the future, so I did pick it up. If I remember correctly, it might have actually been on sale too, and that's RoboCop Rogue City. And now I'm trying to remember, it might have been Andrew that mentioned that this was going to be a harder one to find in the future. Might have been Andrew, and sorry if I'm pretty sure it was Andrew now that I think about it a little bit more. So, next one here is Wild Hearts. That was a Walmart clearance. Another kind of odd one that I was surprised at, that was a Walmart clearance, and that was God of War Ragnarok. This one I believe I did pay up for. It was either, I think, $30 if I remember correctly, maybe $35. But surprisingly, it was on clearance, so I picked it up. I figured there wouldn't be too many of those sealed copies in the future. And the last one here I did pick up for full price at Target, and it was because it was on sale. Now, I don't recall what I paid for it, but it wasn't full price. It was like maybe $40 if I remember correctly. And that's Spider-Man Miles Morales, and this is the Ultimate Edition. So that's the last PS5 game. I should actually say last PlayStation game. All right, and then I'll move into the Nintendo games, and I'll kind of go back to the handheld systems first. This first game I picked up at Another Man's Treasure, that's up in North Branch. That's the one that I typically hit a majority of the time. And it is a sealed Game Boy Color game. Now, it is not the most expensive game, but it's Hoyle Casino. But it was still fun to find that completely sealed, brand new, at a pawn shop. Oddly enough, the box and the seal itself is in really good shape, so that was nice. I can't remember what this goes for. It's not too much, but I paid a few bucks less. I think I paid like $14 or $15, and I think it goes for like 17 or 18 or something like that, if I remember correctly. But like I said, certainly fun to find at a pawn shop, a brand new Game Boy Color game. All right, and then I will get back into, earlier on I mentioned that I had the DS systems that I picked up earlier, along with some games. So I'll get back into the remainder of the games that I picked up from that lot. And these are all going into the collection, of course. First one here is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Next one here is Cars. And again, these are Game Boy Advance games, as you can see. And then the last one here is Hot Wheels All Out. So those are all the Game Boy Advance games. There was, of course, some more DS games here. I'm going to kind of have the best ones be for last here. And so these other ones are going into the collection here. Not too much here. Shaun White Snowboarding. Star Wars The Clone Wars. Cars Matter National. Pretty fun. And then the one of the semi-decent games was Transformer Animated, the game. That holds a little bit of value. And then, of course, the last couple of games here, I dropped one of them, but, of course, they're DS games, so they're not going to be breaking. The first one here is Pokemon Ranger. Unfortunately, this is just loose. And then the last game is Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Amaya, and it's hard to read. It's kind of small. But I picked up this whole lot, that lot that I mentioned with the 3DSs for the 2 Pokemon games. Those essentially paid for the whole thing. I will hopefully get some of the money back with selling off some of the games that I already had. And got a few more DS games here that were complete. And I believe, if I remember correctly, all 3 of these were from the swap that I mentioned earlier. First one here is Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. And then Sudoku Gridmaster. Just games that I needed for the collection. And then OMG 26-hour mini games. So it might be a fun one with all the different mini games. Those can kind of sometimes be pretty fun for just checking out and playing a bunch of mini games. So, all right, continue on here with Nintendo systems. I picked up a couple of GameCube games out of a thrift store. This was a Family Pathways, and did pay up for these. They are starting to kind of look to see what these games are worth before putting them out on the sales floor to sell. And so they usually have them a few dollars, sometimes a little bit more, less than what they're going for, just to, I think, help them sell. So of course I did pick these up because I needed them for the collection. First one here is Star Fox Adventures. And then Midway Arcade Treasures. Nothing too crazy. I think the Star Fox is a little bit more than the Midway Arcade, if I remember correctly. And then this next one here, I believe I picked up at a thrift store, if I remember correctly. And it's Mortimer Beckett and the Secrets of Spooky Manor for the Nintendo Wii. Looks like a pretty fun, kind of thrill, kind of scary game. Thriller game type thing. You know, of course, with it being the Wii, it's kind of a kid's thriller. And then the last one here was also from the swap, so I didn't pay too much for it. Get Moving Family Fitness. Another one I needed for the collection. Alright, so the next game here, I was going to talk about at the very end, but I think I'll do it here right at the kind of the middle. And it's a very personal game to me now. And it's because a good friend of, well, not a good friend, but a friend of mine, unfortunately committed suicide. And a buddy of his, which I had actually became friends with prior to my friend committing suicide, kind of took over this friend's collection and sold it all to help out a place where you can call in and talk about suicide, and so that it was kind of a charity type of thing. So all of the proceeds from my friend's collection went to this charity. So it's to, of course, help people not commit suicide. So this one I did pay up for, and you'll see why. But it's also something that I will forever keep in my collection, even if I sell it off or anything like that, which I don't have any plans to. Of course, it always comes into your mind when you think about expenses and maybe paying off the mortgage type of thing. But this one will always stay in my collection no matter what. It is the, I believe it's the GameStop exclusive, if I remember correctly, but it's a limited edition Ganondorf collectible figure Zelda Wind Waker kind of set here, but this one is completely sealed. So, like I said, I did pay up for it. I didn't pay full price, but I did pay up for it. But this will be a friendly reminder of my friend. It's something that I'll always think about him when I see this game. And now probably even if I see someone else's copy of this, I'll probably think of this friend and just kind of miss him some. So just gonna really miss you, Matt. You're always happy and willing to talk with me. We did kind of see each other at a couple of thrift stores, and it was always just fun talking with you. And I'm certainly going to miss you, man. So I wish you would have maybe reached out before doing what you did, but it is what it is, and so we'll just kind of keep going here. But like I said, I'll be keeping this for essentially my lifetime type of thing. So I did purchase a protector for it. That's going to be, in fact, it was notified of being shipped today, so hopefully I'll be receiving that soon to keep that even more protected. So another thing that I needed for the Wii U collection, so that was pretty sweet to get as well. And I'll move on to the next Nintendo system here, which is the Nintendo Switch. Alright, so getting back to that garage sale that I mentioned that I went to, they also did have Troll Hunters for sale on the Switch. They had Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. They had Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 Grand Prix, If I remember correctly, I think I might have picked this one up sealed from a Walmart clearance. But of course, now that I have one opened, I can certainly play it if I wanted to. And they also had Just Dance 2021. So those are all the ones that were opened. I do have a few sealed ones here. I'll actually skip and have that one be last here so I can talk about it a little bit here. The next 4 of them here are from Walmart clearance. First one here is Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Street Outlaws The List. That's the next one. Next one here, Star Trek Prodigy Supernova. And the last one here is Dragon Ball The Breakers Special Edition. And then the last one here I did pick up for full price, and it's because I looked it up before I purchased it, and it was already going for more than what the purchase price was. And I kind of figured that this game will probably go up in price before it ever comes down, and that's Dragon Quest Monsters The Dark Prince. Like I said, I did pay full price, and I can't remember if it was like either $50 or $60. And I think before I purchased it, I looked it up on Price Charting, and I think it was already going for like $70 or $80. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's already better than what it's going for on Price Charting. So I went ahead and picked it up. So pretty nice one to get and have in the collection for it being sealed. So all right, and getting on to my last system here. With one exception. I'll kind of talk about that exception when I get to it here. And let's see, so I'll start with the original Xbox games. And as you guys have watched some of my other videos, I am focusing on the original Xbox right now. It is getting harder and harder to find games that I need, and because I'm getting more and more of the collection, so it is getting harder and harder. A lot of the games that I need still are the more expensive ones. I do have a few of the expensive ones, but none of the crazy expensive ones. I think Obscure is one that I still need. I think I need both of the, I think it's Otogi, if I remember correctly, if I pronounce that correctly. I still need Steel Battalion. That's going to be a crazy one to get. But still, I added a few here. The first one here is Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Wabbit. Another kind of mouthful to get through there. And I picked this one up at a local video game store. I think I just purchased this outright, just because... Oh yeah, that's right. It was their... I think it was 10-year anniversary at Punch-Out Games. And so I went there for that, grabbed some free food, and then picked this up, if I remember correctly. And I can't remember. I think I got another game, but I don't think it was a Xbox game. But yeah, it was a 360 game, which I haven't gotten to yet. So I'll mention that when I get there. So the next game here is Kingdom Under Fire Heroes. And I can't recall where I picked this one up. It might have been the swap that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, don't remember where that one was. All right, and so the last original Xbox game is a game that does hold some value. And it's a game that, of course, I will probably never play because of the content. Actually, I'm going to say that I'm never going to play it. Not probably. I'm never going to play this game. I'm just going to have it for the collection. And I already do have it on the PlayStation 2. I picked it up at a garage sale for the PlayStation 2 for, I think, $1, which was crazy. But this one I did pick up at Punch-Out Gaming. What I've actually been doing is I've been bringing in a lot of stuff to trade in, and I've been getting like trade credit because I'm looking to get a very expensive game from them that they have. And I'm getting pretty close to having that value for that game in my trading credit. But when I was in one time, they mentioned that they had picked up not one but 2 copies of the Guy game. And I ended up using some of my trading credit to get this. I figured that it was going to be pretty hard for me to find this out in the wild. So like I said, I did pick it up. It is a mature game, but it really should be, I don't know, probably NC-17, as it does have some pretty crazy, revealing content. I'll just leave it at that. So I'm gonna just be keeping that in the collection, not ever playing it. So it's just something that I needed, and that it did have some value. So unfortunately, it didn't help me get that much closer to getting that higher value game, which you'll probably see at some point, as long as I, traded enough to get that extra last couple $100 that I needed. And now that I just said that, you probably know that it's multiple $100 game that I'm looking for. So we'll see about if I get it. It may be sold by the time I get all that trade-in credit, and but then again, it's been there for quite a while, so hopefully not. If it does sell, there's actually a couple of other games that I would be interested in getting. So we'll see what ends up happening, and of course I'll get it in one of these videos and let you guys know about it. So I may actually do a full video just on that alone and kind of talk about what I traded in to get that game. And so we'll just kind of leave it there. Next game here is, the next system, I should say, is the 360. And I did pick up quite a few games on the 360. And I don't remember where I got them all, though. So I'll just kind of go through them here, and if I do remember, I'll let you know. So we got a Platinum Hits of Transformers the game. And I want to say I picked this one up at a thrift store. I picked up Forza Motorsport 3 and the Halo ODST combo pack. And not for resale. And then I also picked up Farming Simulator. And I want to say I picked this one up at a pawn shop, if I remember correctly, Another Man's Treasure. But I could be mistaken. I did pick up Tropico 5 at a thrift store. And I believe I also picked this one up at a thrift store, and that's the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Game of the Year Edition Platinum Hits. So there's so many of these versions. There's a non-Game of the Year edition, there's a Game of the Year edition, there's a Platinum Hits, there's a non-Platinum Hits. So it's probably like 4 or 5 copies of that same game, but just with the different variations of them. So I'm pretty sure I grabbed these last couple here in the stack that I'm going through right now from a thrift store. I wouldn't have paid too much for them. Biggest Loser Ultimate Workout, that's a Platinum Hits. And then D-Pack Chopra's Leela. And that must have been, I think, from another thrift store. Probably didn't pay too much for that. So, all right, getting back to the Xbox game that I picked up at Punch-Out Gaming on their 10th anniversary. I also picked up Dragon Age Origins. And this is a collector's edition of some sort. I think they have, yep, there it is, collector's edition right on the spine. It is a slipcover and a steel case. So that's pretty sweet to pick up complete. Did have like everything inside as well. So between this and that other game, I think I paid like $25. I think the value was like 27 or 28 or something like that. So got a little bit off for that. And then the last stack of 360 games here, Rayman Origins. And I can't remember, I think I might have picked this one up at the swap, if I remember correctly. Next one here is Mind Jack, and I think I picked this one up at Punch Out. Actually, nope. Mind Jack I did pick up at another video game store. Shout out to my buddy down in Minneapolis, Heroic Games. So that's Paul. He sold me this game and a couple more here. Stopped by his shop when I was in the neighborhood one weekend and chatted, of course, for a little bit, and then picked up a few games that I needed. This next one here will likely probably go up in price. It's an only on Xbox 360 game, and that is Earth Defense Force 2017. Looks like a pretty interesting game as well, so I might have to play that one. And then I also picked up Binary Domain, which I think I have a feeling that that one's going to go up in price as well too. Alright, so next one here is Stranglehold. And I can't recall, I think I might have picked this one up at a pawn shop if I remember correctly. But it can't be, it was either a pawn shop or a thrift store. This one I did pick up at a, oh boy, now I'm second guessing myself again here. I believe this is also either a pawn shop or a thrift store. and that's Just Dance Greatest Hits, which is kind of an interesting one. All right, so next system here is the Xbox One. Now, of course, it's kind of Xbox One, Xbox Series X type of thing, where they have kind of some of them that are just for the original system, some for just the newer system, some for both. So I just kind of lump them all together just so I don't have to sort through them all and everything. So first one here is G.I. Joe Operation Blackout. Can't recall where I picked that one up. Final Fantasy 15. That one I picked up at a swap at one of those bins. Oh, I think the G.I. Joe one that I just went through was also at the swap as well for one of those bins. Getting into some sealed games here, so these are likely Walmart clearance, and that's WWE 2K22. Now, I can't remember. I know there was one of these that had a really bad game, and I can't remember if it was this one or if it was like the 2020 version or something like that, but it was really glitchy, and they tried to patch it, but it didn't work or something like that, so that might be a fun one to have in the future. Unfortunately, this cover art is crooked in this game, so I don't know, I may just open that one up and fix that cover art, just because it's going to be irritating to me that it's crooked. But anyway, next one here is Transformers Battlegrounds. And I think the next game here I did pay a little bit more for. It was still on clearance, which again I was very surprised. It's so weird how these Walmarts are doing it. They certain games will be on clearance at one Walmart, but not the other one. And sometimes there's games that are like $30 down from $60, but then there's other stores that have that same game for $5 or $10. So it's all over the board. So it's kind of crazy when you're going around to these different stores, what's going to be on clearance, what's going to not be on clearance, what's going to be the prices on the clearance stuff, and when are they going to do the next markdown type of thing. But the game that I'm talking about here is Star Wars Jedi Survivor Deluxe Edition, and I paid a little bit more for this one, but it was still a good deal with it being on clearance. I think I paid $20 or $30 for it, so like I said, it was still a pretty good deal. So all right, and continuing on here with my next stack here, another SpongeBob SquarePants, and this one is the Cosmetic Shake. And then we got RBI Baseball 2021, Planet Coaster Console Edition, and then this is actually pretty cool. This is it's got a slipcover on it, and it's Mafia Definitive Edition. So that looks like a pretty fun game. I've always enjoyed Mafia movies and games and stuff, so might have to check that one out in the future. Next one here is Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition. And this one here I know is just a download code, but I figured I'd pick it up. It was for $5, and it's Call of Duty Warzone Gilded Age 3 Pro Pack. It comes in a regular case and everything, but it is a download code. It's pretty disappointing, but it's just the way it is. The next one here, kind of have these must be out of kind of order a little bit. This one is Trials Fusion. Picked this one up from James at the swap, at my last swap that I was at. Picked this one up. He had, I think, like bought a copy, and then he got, it never came or something like that, or it went to a different house, so it never came to him, and then he called whoever he got it from, and they sent him a second one, and then he ended up getting this one back, so he ended up selling it to me for a good deal, so it was pretty sweet. So I was happy about that. I needed it for the collection. I think I have an open copy of that, so of course the sealed copy will go in the collection. And then getting back to the Walmart clearance here, we got Grid Legends. Got Dying Light 2 Stay Human. And I think, oh, this one includes 3 exclusive art cards from Walmart. I wonder if that's kind of a Walmart exclusive type thing. I don't remember seeing that cover art on it in some of the other games. But anyway, going on here, we got DC Justice League Cosmic Chaos. Looks like kind of a kids DC game with characters all small and cartoony like. Got this one, Gang Beasts. Oh, is this the game that Sick Cooper played with his employees and just really loved it? I wonder if it is. It certainly looks familiar to me. Next game here is Guardians of the Galaxy, or Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. I've heard mixed reviews about this game. I've heard some people really liked it, some people didn't. I think it was actually a kind of a short game too, so might have to check that out. I think I do have that copy, an open copy of that game, and so I would be able to play it. So next one here is The Outer Worlds. And then Mortal Kombat, let's see, what is that? XL. Oh, I didn't even realize I had this in this stack here. So I also have a just a standard copy of Jedi Survivor, and I'm guessing I would have probably paid a little bit more for this one. Pretty sure this copy I think was on sale, not on clearance like the other one, which is again very odd. But I think I picked that one up at like Target or something like that on sale. I think it was $20, $25 or $30. Excuse me. Well, this might be... Oh no, I think I mentioned that I had one of these already in the stack that I had doubles of. So, and that's Vanguard. Picked this one up at Walmart clearance. And then the last couple here that until the kind of really fun, crazy pickups that I had for this month here of March. The last couple here are Family Feud and then Aliens Fireteam Elite. All right, so let's see if I can get this in the order that it happened. Okay, so yeah. So I've been mentioning in this whole video that I went to a swap, and that always happens on a Saturday, and it happens typically in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And for me, that's quite a long drive. It's, I believe, an hour and 20-minute drive if I didn't stop anywhere. But what I do is, because we need to be there at like either between like 10:30 and 11 or 11:30 or something like that, I will typically start kind of early in the morning, but not too early, so that I can hit some thrift stores and some pawn shops on my way to the swap. And so this particular swap, which happened, I believe it was on like the 24th or something like that. So it was just a couple weeks ago from the filming of this video. It is March 3rd, I believe. Yeah, I'm sorry, not March 3rd. It is April 3rd. And so on my way to the swap, I stopped at Another Man's Treasure in Princeton. And as I was going through the games, I wasn't finding too much. I typically will go through all the games, no matter what they are. Some of the newer generation systems, they have the games for like $14. So I kind of skim over them a little bit quicker than the other games, just so I don't miss anything. And crazy enough, they did have a physical copy of Fortnite. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Fortnite, that's a downloadable game, so it's not going to be worth anything. That's incorrect. This is the original Fortnite. This game, I believe, if I remember correctly, is like $116 game on price charting. And it's, of course, it doesn't have any manual just because it's a PS4 game, so they hardly ever come with manuals now. May have had some kind of like paperwork or something like that, but anyway, $116 game, picked up for $14 at this pawn shop. So that was crazy, and I was so happy to get it because I need it for the collection, and it was such a great deal and everything. So I was just ecstatic on the way to the swap, and of course I had a good swap. It wasn't the greatest swap, but it wasn't the worst swap either. Did sell quite a bit of money, quite a bit of games to get some money back. I am trying to actually save up to get a resurfacer, which at the swap I kind of got a kind of a deal in line to get a resurfacer. So that's really awesome, and I'm really looking forward to kind of making, getting that to work out and everything. So anyway, so ecstatic about getting this one. And so that was, like I said, on a Saturday. Oddly enough, the next day on Sunday night, it was like 9, maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I was looking through Facebook right before I was getting ready to go to bed, and here I came across a Xbox One post, and I mentioned that earlier in the video. I had, bought the system, bought a few sports games. I'll actually grab them out since they're kind of pretty close here. So yeah, there were these 3 sports games that I mentioned earlier right at the beginning of the video. And so I saw these and I was like, not much. This whole post was for $100, so it was an Xbox One system, these 3 games, and oddly enough, they had a Fortnite on the Xbox One. Now, like I just mentioned, I had picked up the PS4 version the day before. So here on Sunday night, I was messaging the person that was selling it on Facebook Marketplace, and I said, I know it's pretty late. Would you be willing to meet tonight for me to pick up, the lot? And they said, no, let's do it tomorrow. And so I set it up so that I could meet the person at lunch, so that I could pick up the system and the games. So everything worked out. During lunch, I went and picked up the system. Guy was pretty happy to get his $100, and so I was happy to get this game along with the system and those sports games. Now, crazy enough, this one is even more expensive than the PS4 version. And again, this is the original Fortnite. This one does have the little bit of paperwork in it. And this one is worth, I believe, if I remember correctly, $160. Which is just nuts, because it's Fortnite. It's like free to download. You'd think that these would be cheap, and they're not. It's Fortnite. So another copy that I needed for the collection, so I needed both of them for the collection. So hopefully in the future, if I find them again and at a good deal, I can then flip those for more games and to further the collection along. So pretty crazy. Picked up 2 copies of Fortnite on 2 different systems in 2 different days. So it was just nuts. So that's it, guys. Thank you for sticking around. I think this is a little bit shorter video than my last, and thank you everyone who has subscribed recently. I have had a pretty good uptick. I've actually surpassed 100 subscribers, which I was kind of happy about. And of course, looking forward to the next kind of milestone, 250, 500. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I certainly recommend that you do. I am going to try to get more into my collection. I am kind of going to different areas of my collection so that you can kind of see it behind me when I'm doing these videos. As you can see today, I'm in front of my PlayStation wall. I have PlayStation 2 over here, PlayStation 3 kind of down to the right, if you can see it. Maybe not. I can't remember what kind of what I have in the camera here, but I do have some PS3, and then I have some PS4. To my left, outside of the view of the camera, I have stacks of PS3, PS4, and PS5 games that can't fit on this wall. So I'm going to be kind of expanding a little bit more. I have done a game room kind of upgrade video that you might want to check out as well. That one's probably my most viewed video on the channel so far. And so that's kind of going over what I've changed on the game room that I'm in here and what my future plans are as well. So please check that out if you haven't. And like I said, please subscribe. Please comment down below. Mention some of the games that I should maybe check out myself, as long as they weren't sealed ones from Walmart clearance. But a bunch of them I already did have on an open copy as well. So certainly mention down below. All the comments, all the likes, all the subscribes, of course, help the channel out to grow. And thank you guys for sticking around, and be good and do good.